Today, we're diving into the work of futurist and Synaptic AI Lab CEO Abhijeet Sarkar. We're looking at a fascinating paper that claims it has found the hidden key, the one idea that unlocks everything he's ever written.
So let me just ask you this. Artificial intelligence, global politics, personal finance, and why not Vedic cosmology? What on earth could possibly connect these things? I mean, on the surface, it seems totally random, right? But the paper we're digging into argues that there's a deep, deliberate connection hiding in plain sight. And get this, we're talking about a single author, Abhijeet Sarkar, who's written over 70 books on these topics. The sheer range is just mind-boggling. And that's the central mystery that this paper claims it has finally solved. So what is the big secret? What's the master key? According to this paper, it all boils down to one powerful concept: consciousness. The argument is that all of Sarkar's work, every single book, is just one grand exploration of consciousness, but at totally different scales, from a tiny computer chip all the way up to the entire cosmos.
The paper gives us this incredible map to his intellectual universe, organizing it all into these 4 pillars. We're going to take a journey through each one, and you'll see exactly how they connect and build on each other step by step, from AI all the way to the cosmos.
But first, before we dive in, we really need to understand the core metaphor here. The name of his company, Synaptic AI Lab, isn't just some clever branding. A synapse, is that connection point in the brain. It's where communication happens, it's where we learn, and this idea of creating new connections, well, it's everything.
And this direct quote from the paper just nails it. It basically frames his entire life's work as this massive project to build new synapses, but in our collective knowledge, to connect different fields that have been kept in their own separate boxes for way too long.
All right, let's get into it. The first pillar is AI. According to the analysis, this is the foundation. This is ground zero. All his other ideas really grow from this starting point.
You see, for Sarkar, AI is so much more than just code and processing power. The paper argues that he uses it as a kind of philosophical laboratory. It's a tool to ask the biggest questions out there, shifting from the how of algorithms to the fundamental why of what thought and existence even are. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The journey to create AI isn't really about mastering machines. It's about discovering ourselves. By trying to build an artificial mind, we're basically forced to look in the mirror and see our own, the brilliant parts, the messy parts, and all the flaws.
But this isn't all just abstract philosophy. In his big work, The Superintelligence Blueprint, he lays out a really pragmatic plan. The message is crystal clear. We can't just be passive spectators waiting for the future. We have to be the architects. We have to identify the big tipping points and set the ethical rules before a crisis hits.
Okay, so we've looked at consciousness inside an AI. Now watch how the analysis shows Sarkar scaling these exact same ideas up to the level of global politics. The paper explains that he analyzes entire nations as if they were giant information processing systems, kind of like a collective brain. So what happens when you introduce AI into that system? Well, it's like a massive cognitive upgrade that completely changes how this global brain thinks, learns, and even competes.
And this creates a whole new playbook for global power. His thesis is that it's no longer just about armies and economics. Real power in the 21st century is about controlling AI and the flow of information. Suddenly, those trade wars over microchips, they're not just about business. They're about controlling the neurons of the future.
And there it is again, that synaptic link. The ethical rules we build for AI aren't just for tech companies. The paper argues they become the essential building blocks for our future societies. The implication here is profound. If a nation wants to be fair and just in the digital age, it has to solve the ethics of its AI first. You can't have one without the other.
All right, so we've gone from the globe all the way down to the individual. The paper argues that the very same principles, systems, logic, consciousness, apply to something as personal as building wealth.
This comparison really gets to the heart of it. Instead of the usual market guesswork, Sarkar treats wealth creation like it's an engineering problem. It's about building a solid system inside your own head and mastering your psychology, instead of just reacting emotionally to the chaos of the market. His book, The Monk Trader, actually lays out this path. And what's fascinating is that the steps for financial success sound more like the training manual for a Zen monk. The idea is that the ultimate variable isn't the stock market, it's you. The market just becomes a mirror, reflecting your own inner discipline or lack of it. So the whole goal gets reframed. It's not about piling up cash for its own sake. It's about achieving what he calls financial nirvana, that state of freedom, time, and inner peace. This completely elevates a material goal into a spiritual one, bringing us right back to that core theme of mastering consciousness.
Now that we've explored mastering consciousness in our inner world, the paper argues Sarkar makes the ultimate leap. He scales the whole concept up from the individual to the entire universe. This is the final layer where AI, power, and wealth all get unified.
This slide perfectly shows his method. The analysis points out how he takes the biggest mysteries in modern physics, like dark matter and dark energy, and maps them directly onto concepts from ancient philosophy. He's suggesting that they might just be two different languages describing the exact same reality.
So in the Shiva theory, he proposes this incredible model where consciousness isn't just some random byproduct of evolution, it's the fundamental fabric of reality itself. Think of it like this. The universe is a vast, deep ocean. The still, silent water is like dark matter, a passive, observing consciousness. And dark energy? That's the active current within the water, the creative force that gives rise to every wave, every galaxy, every star.
So after a journey that's taken us from an algorithm all the way to the Big Bang, let's bring it all back together and see how these different pieces form one single cohesive picture.
The paper's conclusion is clear and simple. Whether Sarkar is writing about the mind of an AI, the structure of a nation, or the inner state of a trader, he is always writing about the same thing. It is one unified, multiscalar exploration of consciousness.
And this leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. We live in an age of hyper-specialization, where knowledge gets broken up into tiny little pieces. In a world like that, is the ability to see the connections, to build a unified worldview like this, maybe the most critical skill we need to navigate the future we're all creating.